As you remember from our agenda, so our meeting's heading is Merit Industry Engagement Workshop on Artificial Intelligence. So basically, we're going to talk everything around our study program project and regarding artificial intelligence. I will discuss things today with Jānis Grēviņš, so our famous former professor. So he's not with us in Riga Technical University, but he was behind the scenes, and I would love to call him a megamind behind the Merit and the whole idea of the study program we developed here in Riga Technical University. So he will give us a little keynote, not probably speech, but at least some notes and some looking back how it originated and how it happened to for us having the study program currently as we have it. To our agenda. So if I could ask to share the agenda, so probably you can. Do you see the agenda? Currently it's welcoming and introduction from my side, so everyone is warmly welcome. Afterwards, we will have some speech or notes from Jānis. Then I will have a single slide on Merit, so regarding artificial intelligence, what was anticipated by study program, organizers or designers, and what we're actually having. And then we have a roundtable. So thanks for joining us. There is a number of students from Merit study program who actually are not only students, but they're middle level or high level managers in their companies, and they're representing their industries as well. So basically we will have a very solid opinion on not only our success or fail on some particular topics that we probably have or haven't covered in our study program, as well as discussion among them, probably very interesting on what should be done better, or probably something is very excellent and we need to keep on. And then an open discussion. I have prepared several questions I wanna have answer on over the discussion, and we will see how it goes. So basically that is it. Jānis, if you wanna add something, or anyone else. Hi Egle, thanks for joining us. Egle is also part of our project, so basically it's under umbrella of Merit project, so which is a development project here in several countries, basically in Latvia as well. So okay, so if there is nothing else to add, probably to warm up the discussion and some few things. Once again, thanks Jānis for joining us. Jānis was behind the scenes of designing the program, designing our part, RTU's part and participation in Merit program. So we were together writing the proposal from our part, I think overnight, let's put it so. And basically that's why Jānis is here, and I would love to hear, Jānis, your thoughts, since you are currently in industry representing very solid company, a telecom company in Latvia. So what has changed in your mind in terms of artificial intelligence gaps in middle and high level management, or probably nothing has changed, or what's your opinion on that? So floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting, and thank you for the kind words, and I really appreciate the work Agris, you and your team and Technical University has done along with the Merit counterpart universities in Lithuania, Estonia, and Spain.
Yeah, correct.
And I think that the fact that the project is moving forward, I think it's really a testament that it's a good project and things are moving forward. I think you asked a very loaded question, and also thank you for sharing some of the notes from about 5 to 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was thinking what has changed, and I think what has changed, I think we have to think about what has changed in whole digitalization concept. And I think back in about 2020, when we started thinking about the program and we're working on the Digital Europe idea of the Digital Europe policy, then the main topic was how do we link the technical expertise of technology with implementation expertise of the management people. And I think that's where we were talking about moving the skill sets, that actually the domains of technical implementation and management strategies have to collide in order to achieve success and organizational development. At that point of time, artificial intelligence in the current shape and form was unheard of, if I remember correctly.
That's correct. So it was far away.
Yes. So when the project started, artificial intelligence came about, and we enjoyed and entertained ourselves with successes and failures of large language models.
That's correct.
Which I think in last couple of years have succeeded quite considerably. That maybe the work which we did manually 5-6 years ago today is done by artificial intelligence and large language models in terms of preparation of proposals in a couple of minutes. I think that's where the change is. Now, I think that's not the end of it. And probably there is quite substantial discussion, and the popular discussion turns around artificial intelligence and large language models. More specifically, how do artificial intelligence helps people to produce text in blunt terms. And I think that's very simple, and that's a popular discussion. However, I would argue that we have to look at, if we look at industry perspective, we have to look at artificial intelligence naturally in how to produce a text. But in telco industry, it's also machine-to-machine artificial intelligence. How do networks work together with equipment and autonomous vehicles using the networks and technologies? How do different artificial intelligence algorithms work in production lines and on warehouse management, and how do they work also in management systems and enterprise resource management systems to optimize those processes, to make them more efficient, and thus making the whatever it is, either it's a production, operations, sales, warehouse management, down to really providing digital services and doing coding, that all today is done by artificial intelligence, probably at a speed of a couple times more efficient than it maybe used to be before.
Definitely, it makes us more productive. That's true.
About more productive, it's an interesting question. But I think that's where the idea comes. I think where now when we get back to the basics, but the basics of merit really stays the same. How do we merge and overlay the technical capabilities with management strategies so that we can achieve the benefits of all these AI developments for the benefit of our organizations, so that it really increases efficiency, as opposed to just making a little bit more chaos.
Okay, I have one comment and one question, if I may. One comment. So, if I understood correctly, what you're saying. So we have a gentle shift in AI development from gentle. I mean,
yeah,
from very very early AI developments back in 2020 to large scale AI applications, not only to human machine but also machine machine. Managing data streams and everything else, but the gap is still the same.
Absolutely.
So basically, technicians cannot speak to high management.
Yes.
Am I correct?
That's. I believe that is correct, and I think high management has to be able to speak to technicians as well.
Okay. Let's put a note here because I want to specifically on that question hear opinion from Egidijus and Egle because they're working in Lithuania. That is AI heavy duty company, development company. And they specifically are introducing. I'm not trying to introduce Egidijus, your company, Exacaster, sorry, but if I remember correctly, they're working with RAG models and other approaches, introducing them in public administration and companies as well. So we will hear from them their opinion because probably still the gap is still there. So we need to address it. Okay, thanks. Do you want to add something?
No, I think let's keep talking and then see
where it goes.
What's relevant. Where it goes, yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, the next thing I wanted to just to warm up a little bit our discussion. So I have prepared a single slide. So probably someone could share it for me. Okay, thanks. So those are the courses we have introduced in our study program to address the gap. But we were talking about digitalization in broader sense, not just AI. So those courses are a little bit from both. So for instance, data spaces covers fundamentals of data management infrastructure and so, but with focus on using data spaces by AI, machine readable data and so on and so forth. So while other courses which are bolded, I mean with larger characters. So as you see, decision making, probabilistic reasoning, which is at the edge AI sort of mathematics, more mathematics, less AI, but fundamentals are needed. Business applications of AI, so IT systems architectures and IoT. So that's what you said. IoT is heavy duty. AI application area, on my opinion, I totally agree with you. Business analytics, data spaces, and there are smaller courses which are, with smaller letters. So artificial intelligence in healthcare, process automation and robotics, software automation, and AI-driven process control, which haven't been selected by students. So basically, they have selected the larger one. And they have experience, so probably their comments will be on those courses more than on those smaller ones. So we will see. We will see. Okay. So currently, since I'm looking at our time a little bit, so I would love to open a discussion. So probably that is the most anticipated thing today. So to hear opinions and to open up discussion. So we have our guests, I will name them. So Marita Grube, she is representing, she is senior analyst at Accenture, so she's a Scrum Master. Nora Austriņa, she is also Scrum Master from Ergo. Then Madara Klotiņa, she is a service digitalization leader at Latvian Investment and Development Agency. Thanks. Andres Yushchenko from LMT, so your colleagues.
Yep.
Then Yuris Sheps from company Prox. Andris Zabels from company Laum A. And Maxims Bogdanovs from IT. He is IT project manager at Datev, former ZZ. That's where I originated from. And Egidijus and Egle. So I'm happy you are with us. So they're representing both Exacaster, and Egidijus specifically is a co-founder of the company. So he probably has very business, how to say, grounded opinions. Okay, so specifically, I have just 4 questions or 4 topics to discuss among ourselves. And one of those topics is about AI skills required by industry. So, which is a core or fundamental question currently. So we heard opinion of Yanis. So how it's transited from there to here, if I may say so. And currently, I would like to hear from you, our guests. So, are those skills still relevant? What are the emerging trends in your company? Do you see we're addressing them? And to what extent? So basically that is the first question. And I think we can organize the discussion in a very simple way. So you raise your hand and say your opinion, open discussion questions, and we can move on. Afterwards, there will be a totally open mic, so everyone will have a chance to comment or to ask questions. Okay, who wants to start? Is there anyone who wants to start? Nobody. Okay. Oh, Egidius. Thanks, Egidius. Yeah, as always, you're the brave one. Okay, go on.
Yeah, I can't be brave today. Actually, last week I had a lunch with one of my colleagues, who kind of ex-colleagues at Exocancer, who is a researcher, and we discussed that currently one of the biggest challenges is not only the skills, but the identity of the professional. Because when you start applying agentic tools such as, do you hear me?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because when you start applying tools such as Claude Code, which basically can do anything what is digital, suddenly our marketing girls who used to write copies and create nice designs, now they are writing their own scripts and integrations between CRM platform and web, etc. And when I am discussing with them, they are saying like, so what's my identity? Am I an engineer? Am I a copywriter? Am I a designer? Because I can do so much things now. So basically, from my perspective, it's like soft skills start mattering extremely a lot now, because the flexibility of the person who is using AI has to be extremely big, because now you are doing a lot of things that are cross boundary. So kind of all the generalist type of skills become extremely important, at least from what we see in our case. So I see Andres has a point, so I will give a word.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. You're right.
Thanks, Egidius. Yeah, go on, Andres.
Yeah, thank you. You raised a very good point. I think it's about, the skills and about the skill set of the person in the today's, like, whatever it is, a business environment or government institution or elsewhere. So I think we, as a part of the merit program, definitely have benefited from getting these basics around what the understanding what are the different models exists, what are the data pipelines and everything like that, which is very important for business people on one hand to understand. On the other hand, what is happening, especially with tools entering market, like you mentioned, Claude and similar, so that it basically gives an opportunity to almost ordinary business people to start being very technical or creating a very technical, let's say, solutions and capabilities. But without understanding what you want to create, it's very hard to ensure a good quality outcome. And so therefore, same as you explained, from engineers, it requires the soft skills. It's same from the managers or the business people, let's say. You need to start to understand basically these technical parts of the equation as well. So if you want to build a web application, you need to understand at least some basics, what needs to be part of this application, and then how to manage AI and how to prompt it properly and how to guide it properly, so to get get an outcome what you want to have as a business, right? And I think it's goes across all competencies. That.
Andres, I have. Thanks for that comment. So I have one question to you, basically two questions. First question, on your opinion, what Egidius described, what you described, and what Yanis described at first. Do you see the gap has widened, or it has shrinked? That is the first question. And what's your feeling about the merit program? So did it help you to shrink the gap, or you just notice, well, it's vast and you cannot handle it?
Let me start from answering your second question, so definitely the merit program and this, let's say, courses what we had as part of it, what you just presented a few minutes ago, right? At least I can speak by myself, so that it's or for myself, it's definitely something would help me to build the foundation of understanding really what AI means beyond this just hype and generic, let's say, public opinions and stuff like that. So I clearly understand what AI is and what it's not, what it can and what it cannot, and what else it helped me to basically start thinking in this systematic manner when it comes to the decisions about the AI and what I want to get out of this, right? That's one point. On the other hand, the things are moving so fast. Then since we started, you see what happened in last couple of years in terms of the AI development, right? And you simply cannot answering in that way that on one hand it helped you to shrink this gap. On the other hand, some new let's say unknown has been created, right? And you need to catch up with that. So, and I think we still need to catch up with things what has been created in the last couple of years. And more importantly, I think, speaking of the merit program, we have received a very good and solid theoretical background, but what now we need to do is more to get hands-on experience.
Oh, you have felt the taste of engineering. Oh, that's nice. Okay, good to hear it. Okay, thanks, Andres, for a very honest comment. So, okay, Nora, go on.
I wanted to add from my side that first off, thinking about the AI-related skills in business, be it on the technical level or in managerial roles, I think the very key thing at the moment is staying agile to what's happening. Because if we look back 2 years ago, I actually used to be part of another organization that Marita is now still with. And for the past 6 years, I've seen my technical teams change a lot in their day-to-day work. I think staying agile to what new AI developments happen, and then always apply critical thinking. I think it's impossible to learn the one or three key AI skills, be it vibe coding, be it prompting, or something else. I think we cannot define it, but liking to learn and also following the news will help us all. And maybe a small comment I have at the moment in my current role, I'm just a user of AI tools, mostly for effectiveness or supporting my developers with some, maybe easing some development tasks. We don't have any live AI solutions. However, what I observe, and for me, what's important is applying also this critical thinking about how AI systems not only are developed, but when they are live, how they are maintained and are being able to be tested so we can rely on them. We can take any simple examples with AIs, hallucinating. I just recently read on New York Times, for example, a topic where a Georgian person has to always in US explain that Georgia the country, not Georgia the state. AI solutions a lot of times would hallucinate on these sort of specific kind of similar cases. So we have to always keep checking also when these answers aren't so clear and easy to test. So that would be my point.
Hey, thanks, Nora. Anyone else wants to add?
I would like to. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would also like to absolutely indeed with Egidius about the flexibility from the business perspective. What we see right now, as already Nora mentioned, so lack of critical thinking. So we are producing a lot of AA data right now, but we don't understand is it correct, is not correct. So it's the same example of Georgia state or Georgia like a country. So as the same, and one from the missing right now in the young generation. So it's now it's a question to the baccalaureate programs, etc. From the business, we see like a soft skill communication is missing very. So we are quite good in AI, so we can produce a prompt and think about prompt, but we couldn't explain it. We are too shy to start talking. So that's why a huge problem right now. So I just want to add these two things: so critical thinking, flexibility, and third, communication. Communication is a king right now.
Okay, thanks. But do you see AI would help you, or it will widen the gap? So how do you see it? Your perspective.
In our corporations, the using of AI is mandatory, so it's obligation. So you must work with. And if we are taking a look, if you are question about the merit, so like Andres already mentioned, so it's prepare the foundation, technical foundation, at least for me. So AI will help definitely, but we need to understand, we need to check AI, and critical thinking is a crucial part of this one.
Okay, if I understood correctly, you're saying that your personal gap has shrinked, but you now see new horizons. Is it correct? Okay, good. So then we have done a good job, I think. Okay. So I see a raised hand, Marit, please.
Yeah. I wanted to add a comment a bit of from a different perspective, meaning that there are skills, as I see in my current working life, however, related to limitations. So the skills are there, but there is data protection related limitations. So I work at Accenture. We have various obligations towards the client in terms of data protection, and there are various areas identified where AI could be used to improve the situation. Don't want to go too much into details, but it will be possible. However, it is not really accepted by the client because there is a concern that if this internal information and documentation is being fed to some AI tools, then that would cause various problems. So it's very restricted, and in order to get approval, it takes a very long time. So sometimes there is skill and there are proposals, but this willingness from the client is not there, mainly due to data protection, because when we talk about AI, we talk about data protection as well, and that can get really difficult. So it's not going as fast as it would seem, this transformation towards AI tools to help in daily work.
Okay, but do you see, Marit, it's a lack of understanding from your clients, and that which creates concerns, or there is a real tangible legal risks?
Both. Could be both. We do have some AI solutions that have been approved by the client. However, every time there is new process involved, it needs to go through approval process, and it then gets difficult. So I think it's both.
Okay, so it means partly we can address those in our studies, so providing some deeper understanding of the legal, how to say, landscape.
Yes, I think you have to add the third one as well.
Okay, go on.
The technical, so what actually is being done. The one is, and the second, what Marit says, communications, and the third is legal.
Okay. So
because you cannot replace one with another.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. So I have a nice drawing already.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so do you want to add something, Marit, or by the way, you are representing a very good company, I mean, large company with a large experience in those matters. So how do you approach those? Do you have some internal, I don't know, courses or, peer-to-peer training, or how does it work?
We do quite a bit. Okay. I'm not really sure how much I can disclose, but Accenture kind of has to be at the front of that because it's consulting service mainly. So yeah, there are various trainings, and of course the agentic AI is the main hot topic lately.
Oh, absolutely. So currently it's flying. Okay, good. Thanks, Marit. So let's give a word to Maxims from Dativa.
Yeah, hi, do you hear me?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay, great. So yeah, so the AI is here, and we will have some interesting times ahead of us, I believe. But so AI is right now. It's not only producing the text, but it's already producing the code, and a very good one in these days. So we also in the company trying to embrace the usage of AI. In the meaningful and not a protective way, I should say. But my look at that at this moment, I don't believe it's super mega effective, because when the Claude, for example, produce you with the 6,000 lines of code, somebody should go through it and see if it's really good. So it's not maybe that effective right now, but it will be in the future. I'm sure of it. And this also, I think, will produce some new professions. Like there's Q&A that is doing the testing. I believe that in a few years there will be professionals that will check the code that was produced by AI, and several other professions. So
I recently followed one very interesting discussion among people who were standing behind C# development. So basically, the main developer of C#. Have you seen it? And the main sentence or takeaway was the AI generated code is a joke. So that was very bold statement. Would you agree with that?
no, I would say no. It depends how you use it. I'm trying to write code. I do that a lot, and you can produce like very big things with
That's my
with the
true
help of
confession.
AI.
Okay. Okay, thanks. So many more raised hands. Andres, so want to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to continue on this, what also Maxims mentioned about, these skills and the jobs which are maybe disappearing and same time new are coming. And I think this is exactly what I think Merit program should be focusing on moving forward, how to help current managers and future managers basically to manage these change projects efficiently. Because honestly, I think any or every AI project, this is more a change management project or change implementation project, rather than learning how to prompt or how to code or whatever. And it actually requires quite a new way of thinking. At least I see also in my team. So we also try to do things with the Copilot and some similar tools, right? And one thing is just you start with basics. I don't know, marketing manager say, hey, write me an ads copy or write me a letter to whatever, right? This is something what probably most of us started with and do on daily basis, but then with the with this change of tools and all these new possibilities what they provide, I think to maximize the benefits of AI, we need to really think differently or start thinking differently. So how you can really delegate tasks and processes to AI and what it can be. And together with Yanis, we spent a few days last week on gathering of dozens of telco companies here in Latvia from all around Europe. And most of them were saying that one of the AI-related topic they're interested is basically to learn what scenarios they can use it for, right? And I think that is exactly what many of us needs to get as a skill to identify what can be delegated to AI and then how to implement these changes.
If I hear correctly and if I interpret correctly what you are saying, so basically you have you told me two main theses, if I called them correctly. One was management lacks, high management lacks deeper technical understanding of the AI and related things, let's put it so. And another that it might be solved with more hands-on kind of application courses or experiences, which would allow a one to draw a sort of a boundary what to use the AI for and probably what should be avoided in those daily applications. Am I correct? Did I get you correctly?
You read it right. So I think one is definitely this technical literacy of manager or business people can definitely help better understand what AI can do and cannot, because I think there is still I think misconception of what AI is really, and that it can create magics. It's not. We know that technically it's just a probability algorithm, right? And that when you understand that, it also helps you a lot, at least when we talk about the large language models. Of course, there is a different type of AIs, and that is also important to understand and recognize. But then another one is basically really how do we identify those use cases, and I think that skill still needs to be developed. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks, Andres. Wanna
Go.
Okay. So we have some few raised hands. Nora. Okay.
I want to return back a little bit to what you mentioned earlier about about the C#. I actually had some developers who claimed that if you feed LLM model mediocre content, you will get mediocre code out of it. So they were definitely on this side where like, no way a really good developer is a human developer who has like classic training. That's just a comment from my side. I've studied IT, but I'm not a technical person in my day-to-day, so I cannot contest to it. And the second comment I wanted to just continue also about the merit program. You ask what needs to be done or maybe improved to build these skills. I actually think that our program was quite comprehensive. It did not only have a course about the AI theory, and also a recent visit to Italy to the Bruno Kressler Foundation and seeing what the researchers work on was actually very valuable as well. But I also think that this theoretical and legal framework, this was probably the key learning for me personally. This was really great to not only learn about EU Act in depth, but also about all other regulations and directives that would apply in this digital transformation or AI time. So I think I'm sure there's ways to always improve, but in general, I think that the merit program actually had quite a comprehensive view.
Okay, thanks for that comment. So definitely, as Janis already mentioned, and basically what you just mentioned, of course, things are changing, and they're changing very rapidly, and we need to address those. And we will see how it develops, because indeed the legal frameworks and legal landscapes are also changing. So as far as I know it, so I'm not from that domain. So, but anyway, okay, we will see. We will see. Let's give a floor to Andres.
Yeah, hello everyone. Sorry about my cam; it doesn't work. I guess you can hear me. I'm representing property management company, and we now fintech. There is also proptech who is rising in an early stage, and for industry, it's need to be open data, not a closed data, but open IoT sensors, energy, temperature, occupancy sensors, so on. But answering Agri's question about first, what we actually we broaden it horizontal landscape because we are building bridge between two or more sectors. And the benefit we will get when we manage workflow automation. When we were in Spain, we use Telegram bots and NAN programs or tool. So we combine another AI tools and automation is a benefit for that.
Okay, absolutely. Thanks, Andres. So definitely, that's why those mobility actions were taken. To provide you a wider context, that is the first, to provide you some hands-on experience, and I'm happy that it worked. Yanis, do you want to add something? Or
I have, I think, since nobody's raised hands, I have a quick question for all participants.
Me including, or
you including, because you are running the program, and so you'll be the first to answer since you asked for it. Okay. So, and very simple question is, and I actually use it in LMT quite a lot. So,
okay,
if I would provide you with 1 million euros and unsolicited funds, so basically you can spend it on anything you want which is related to AI. So what will be the 3 initiatives you would undertake for that money?
Oh, I remember.
And then the other, and they have to be implemented in the next 3 months.
Okay. So I will provide a wider context, and we will give a floor. So
yeah.
When I was a PhD student, so I think it was second year, we were visiting KTH in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
So that was back 2003, I think. And I was given the same question, but without context of AI. And I said I will invest everything in AI at that point.
Okay.
So that was my question, 20 years ago. I was right. I would be billionaire probably.
Okay. So where will you invest now in 3 things you would improve in your
I have
in the faculty?
Yeah. Okay. I have my version.
Okay.
I have my version, but let's give floor first to our guests, and then I will answer. Okay? So can we deal in that way? Okay, go on. So who is the brave?
Who wants to spend 1 million?
In 3 months?
Yes.
You said in 3 months. Okay, good. Egidius. Oh, again you. Thanks for opening the.
Yeah. Me again, but the funny part is like I just got 1 million to spend for it, so. First of all, I will answer in a generic way because you don't know our company context. So I think the most crucial aspect or the single most important place where to spend that 1 million is to take your company's core value proposition and core delivery process of that value proposition and build everything through AI process. It's like, don't think about optimizing emails or creating faster PowerPoints. For this, you just purchase a Claude Code account and you have all that. But the real breakthrough is like if you take your company's core value proposition, what you are delivering to the clients or what you are selling right now, and build agentic processes around that value proposition end-to-end. In our case, for us, it's like 5 agentic systems to cover one value proposition.
Okay, thanks, Egidius. So we have one in investment portfolio. Okay. Anyone else? Nobody has thought about how to spend 1 million. I don't believe you. Everyone has dreamed of,
Daria,
winning a lottery. So definitely you have a plan. Daria, go on.
Hi guys. Firstly, I would say I would pay the taxes if I got 1 million euros.
Oh.
And sorry.
That's boring. Okay.
Well, that's not
Okay,
boring.
go on, go on.
That they should probably be there. And the second, I would probably invest in the backbone of the processes of my sorry, my company. So that's those essential things, like customer data, some interaction, some rules, maybe like ERP system, they are up and running. Because if you don't have that in place, well, you don't really need maybe to optimize some processes, other processes using AI if you don't have the backbone.
Okay, thanks, Daria. Thanks. Nora, please.
Okay, since I'm not here as a representative of my company, I would say first off, I would probably invest some of that money into OpenAI and Anthropic as they go public in fall. This will then fund my future project. And the other half, in my organization, I would invest in a comprehensive knowledge management AI-based system because I feel like that is forever the struggle. And the current solutions that are available at the moment are always either a co-pilot that you can build some context for, use it for team onboarding or day-to-day work, but still a comprehensive, good knowledge management system is not there yet. So I have only two things.
Okay, thanks. Andres, please.
Yeah, I think if we speak seriously, but then of course Egidius covered it very well. Definitely, if I would think of investing into my own business, I definitely would think of what can I do, to jump over the what currently companies mainly doing, right? They implementing, I don't know, new ERP systems or I don't know, some automation systems and whatever. But I think if I would have this million to spend, then I would try to jump over this what many companies trying to do over digitalization projects and maybe create completely agentic AI based company or something like that. There are some good examples available, but never seen it in action, to be honest. I saw only separate components, but if it would be possible to build an experiment based on this money, then I would definitely do to run fully automated or nearly to that business processes. Yeah.
Hey, thanks. So, since nobody has raised his or her hands, Andres, go on.
Yeah, I have this crazy idea. I have idea about heating homes with ASIC miners and heating also hot water, and this could be also benefit for a large swimming pools, volleyball pools, beach indoor. So when you are mining ASIC, you are getting rewards in cryptocurrency. Plus, you are selling heat for exchange. So this is what $1 million idea, which I have needs to be developed in June, July, and I hope I'm managing this. I'm participating in another Germany's co-founded program, and I have things to do to finish my idea, and maybe they will like it and see. Maybe in one day, my crazy idea will be as a standard for home property management. Yeah.
Oh, it's really, I really appreciate your enthusiasm. Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
good. I mean, so probably Merit has contributed to, how to say, to motivate you or to push you a
Yeah.
little bit.
We learn about innovations, we learn about AI, we learn about legal aspects. So we are covering broad perspectives to starting some innovation programs for our ideas.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. Marita, please.
I would then use AI to solve a problem that AI, not created, but definitely is now making it worse. And it is the data center cooling. And we know that for that, we need clean water, not necessarily like running tap water, but generally it should be water that's very controlled. And we know that it's a resource that is not widely available for everyone, also for people. And there are certainly some things that could be improved. Let's say some real life load monitoring, and to allocate that water where it's necessary, not only just generally for everywhere. And for that, AI could be used. And generally, I think there's certainly a lot of improvements where that could be used more efficiently. So then there.
Okay, thanks. So that's, very foreseeing idea. Okay, so should I answer?
Yes.
Okay. Since there is 1 million, which should be spent wisely, I think, with the most, not profit, but how it's called, return on investment, right? So I think I would invest into people. So meaning that learning, training, and things of that sort. So because probably I won't need the whole million. So probably that is, yeah. But I'm having just 3 months, so no core processes. That's impossible to to reorganize or to rebuild. So basically, it's training. So that would be my investment. And since there are some, probably a little bit speculative at this point, but the AI skills in organizations increase productivity depending on the domain, so up to 30%. So it means it's just about skills, and once you have skills, so it's like having a proper tool in a proper hands, or that is a thing. That would be my investment. Okay. And yours?
I think definitely the training is one. So that's
okay. So
that's
we have an agreement.
That's number one. But I think in a corporate world, at least in the company, where in LMT, the training and pretty widespread training on the also the technical aspects of AI, that would be one of the areas to invest, because I believe that really what AI is forcing us to do is it's forcing us to be much broader knowledge, so that we can catch when AI actually tries to hallucinate on us and so on. And I think our company's president has a saying that actually the AI could only build on the top of natural intelligence, not instead of it. And I truly believe that probably AI requires more natural intelligence than less. And I think that's where somewhat is a controversy of AI, so there's a controversy of AI, and I think that's interestingly. I had two questions. The other was opposite to what I just wrote, because one of the things is that it's speculated that AI is actually replacing white-collar jobs, because AI will do instead of a lot of white-collar people, and the two programs which suffer out of academia is the programs we like very much, you and me. Mm-hmm. That's a computer science, because AI programs and codes much faster than a human, and also the business school programs, because AI does all the business analysis faster than the students could do, and the usual employment of students in audit companies and consulting companies are easily now replaceable by AI, especially the starting jobs. So, as being in academia, I think the challenge for you as a dean, and maybe for for myself as a business education hobbyist, I think that's an issue. Where will that go? Because our programs are AI replaceable. That's what is a general belief.
Yeah, I could agree to some extent about junior positions at every level. Probably yes, I totally agree. I was giving a little talk on those matters. And my thesis was the same as some previous technological jumps, let's put it so, or I don't know. I don't want to use the industrial revolution kind of term, just jumps. So actually, the amount of work to be done has increased. I mean, the total volume of the jobs, work. I mean, so it means that every next step, it doesn't steal the work. Actually, it creates a work. So it's like a pyramid, you know. So if you want to raise a tip, you want to widen the base.
Yeah.
So that is the thing. And it means, so indeed, AI allows us to, to make our tip higher, but it also will require a little bit wider the base.
But I think it requires quite a lot of widening the base.
Oh, absolutely. So,
and I think that is a challenge for education as we speak, because I think what you showed on the screen in terms of the courses, it's widening the base quite substantially. But I think if we look at the entire educational system, the widening the base is is very, very crucial for the people who get to the top, that they could manage the AI. And I think we even talked about it here. You know, there is no details which are unimportant with AI, starting from data.
Yeah.
What people mentioned is legal aspects, societal aspects, just the blunt acceptance of AI. You know, which a couple of years ago we lived through COVID and the whole vaccine idea. So why do we believe that artificial intelligence can be trusted when in fact it's very well known that the hallucinations is inherent into the its algorithms purely for that to be probabilistically more reliable than not.
I totally agree with you. Okay, so that's an open question we need to answer for coming years, so probably, or coming months. We'll see. Okay, but we have one more raised hand. Nora, please go on.
Yes, about these recent grads and the hiring. Was also recently listening to a podcast where Mo Goda was mentioning that it's roughly 20 to 30% recent grads are not hired because of AI replacing them. And the point I want to make that, let's say if you are 30, 40, 50, or even 60, and your job is being replaced by AI, then these people also will be in the same position as recent grads. Because if it's a new role that a person has to learn, it doesn't matter if you're 22 and out of bachelor's degree, or if you already have 20 years of experience that you cannot apply in the new world. So continuous education with AI technologies will definitely be relevant for everyone, no matter the age, even if you're not 22 anymore.
Here in university, it's just a comment. So we're having two camps. One camp is saying, well, AI is a joke, so don't worry. So we will live over, so no problem. And another, which probably I belong to, which feels this AI breath of threat, let's put it so. And it's not about that someone will replace me personally, so I don't bother. So, but that is about the quality of education, because I see and trend in my daily work as well. So I'm using a lot different tools, different co-workers or everything. So, and indeed, sometimes you rely too much. It happens. So it happens, but probably it's the same as with autopilots or cruise controls and other things that work for us. So it might be, but I would like to ask specifically opinion of Tonis. So Tonis, do you hear us? So we need some external opinion as well from Estonia. So you are having opportunity to invest 1 million. So
hello. I don't have a camera, but maybe if we have 1 million, then maybe we at the moment we invest to the company infrastructure.
okay,
What is missing in companies is data collection, and this is very problematic in Estonia. And we have very hard to use some such kind of AI functionalities if you don't have data. And this maybe is the big problem at the moment.
If you remember, thanks Tonis for sharing it, because I remember our discussions with Janis when we were actually working on the program as well, and on the project application. We were discussing how to open the public infrastructure to companies. So how to do it, so because that is one thing that we definitely saw at that time also very necessary, but well, we didn't succeed, honestly.
But that is very high on EU agenda.
Yeah, that is something that needs to be done. Yeah, go on, Tony. Sorry, I interrupted you.
We connected maybe more to IoT things, but but if we look to the future, then the Industry 5 AI is only one part, but we need more. This is IoT and edge computing and so on, and there is more technologies to support this AI things. We need to look over these things and not only AI.
But there is this AI gigafactory or megafactory, how it's called, gigafactory infrastructure project and antennas co-project. So basically, companies can have an access to AI infrastructure all over the Europe. So there are 6 major data centers open for not only industry but also for academia as well. So if your company is thirsty for computing power, so you can approach them. Okay, so that was one tough question and the first from my agenda. So we can move on. I think I'm enjoying the comments and questions as well. So Andres already touched that question very much, so about technical skills, about deepening the technical skills and widening the hands-on experience in the studies. But still, so can we dive a little bit into the topic of alignment between education and practice? So how does it work? What is the distance, if I may say so, among some particular courses or particular studies that you're having as masters and the practice that you are experiencing in your companies? What is the distance? Is it shrinking again, or probably it's widening, or is it how far academia is from the daily life of companies, so and daily needs of companies? Okay. If someone wants to open the discussion, so go on, please. Noora.
Yeah, I'd like to start.
Thanks for being active. Go on.
Yeah, I'd like to start. I have actually recent experience for previously when I was part of Accenture Baltics, which is I was an associate manager there. It's a global organization with, I believe, nearly 1 million employees worldwide. A very AI-focused education program roadmap for every single employee at different levels. And there, I felt like the technical knowledge that I gained, even if I was in a managerial role, was actually in a really good level. And now I work in a Baltic level organization.
I'm happy to hear it. Absolutely.
However, in the Baltic level organization that I'm part of at the moment, still in financial industry, same industry. However, I do not have a single AI item learning path at all in my roadmap. And this is very much then organized on department level, based on the role, based on the need. I think then here I see a very big gap between what I study. For example, let's say if I was part of an organization where there was no AI courses whatsoever, Merit would give me a lot. It did already give me a lot, but it was deepening my knowledge. However, I see that there might be risk that there are organizations where it's lacking. It's lacking this theoretical and also hands-on training on these new technologies. Yeah, just something to compare. But Madara, you probably want to add?
Thanks. Yeah, go on, Madara, please.
Yeah, so from my point of view, I mean, Merit gave a lot of different tools and applications and so forth, but then the reality is that everything boils down to the money, how much the company can and is willing to allocate for the licenses, because then you need to multiply with the number of people who would want to use that. And then in the harsh reality kicks in where we have 1 to 2 tools that are widely used across company, and the rest is on your, so to say, per needs basis, where you need to, justify why do you need additional tools on top of it. And I mean, I understand because it's of the security and so forth, so it's not maybe relevant to everyone. And this, as Nora just mentioned, the learning curve for people who are new to IoT or to AI, for them, they need to start with the basics versus those who have been more exposed to AI. Those have totally different requirements, and also the security awareness. So what can be put into these tools and so forth. So I mean, it goes hand in hand. So the knowledge level throughout the company and the license fees, basically.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never thought that licensing is that an issue. I mean, that big issue. So
it is.
Yeah, I hear it now. So I didn't. I thought it's much more available or affordable, I would say. So
I mean, licenses are the first thing to be cut when things get hard. So.
Okay.
I think that's partially part of the kind of the big push in Europe and also on the procurement changes, because it's clear that the licensing procurement is kind of has to change also in terms of what, like, you procure software and systems in general, that has to change. And so I think especially for public, semi-public organizations, that is a big issue.
No, it is. I'm experiencing it on a daily basis. Okay, Egidius, he's working with public administration, not companies, organizations. So probably he has a very, appropriate experience on those matters. Please, Egidius, go on.
We are actively talking with the 100 biggest companies in Baltic states. And I am really, really surprised on how uneven and quite slow adoption actually is. So, so if we are talking, is Merit helping to close that gap? I would say yes, it helps, but we should be thinking like, half of population should learn how to use the AI skills. And so this is like one observation, because it's like even us, we run a training program for C-level. So we take C-level executives in top 100 companies and teach them how to use Claude Code, because until the top level executives don't understand the current AI capabilities, they will never grant, those licenses. But after they learn how to use tools like Claude Code or what other agentic systems, I have never seen a case where they would say, "Oh, AI license, this is something that we should cut." This is like, why don't people use it? So I think this is from an educational standpoint of view, it's like there's a massive need to give more and more education on how to use AI skills.
So what I'm hearing is that and you just how to say provided an evidence or empirical evidence for it. So the gap is still there. I mean, it means that what Andres also pointed at the very beginning is that high or mid or high level managers should have or needs a deeper technical knowledge to be more effective as managers. So do I get you correctly? Okay, thanks.
Yes, if the key message is like if highest level managers are not hands-on, the probability that the company will adopt AI is very, very low. And they are doomed, basically.
I think in this case, that technical knowledge is, again, when you wrote it down, your triangles, that's technical knowledge on all three domains.
Yep.
It's a technical knowledge, what it does, and understanding what will be the legal implications and how do we communicate that, because I think very often the fact of the matter is when people say, oh, we don't have funding for licenses, is really maybe we don't appreciate what will happen, what could be the value add, but also the people are just simply resistant to change. It will distort our usual processes, and then we don't want to have that. We just continue as before. When everything was clear and understandable and no distractions.
Yeah, I agree. So it might be very natural resistance, simple resistance. I mean, human resistance. Let's put it.
Because I think it's not a secret that the whole legal system, if you look with IoTs, with different autonomous systems and so on and so forth, the whole legal understanding of the issues has changed, and then that requires a completely different communications pattern as well.
I totally agree. Okay, we have one thesis and one drawing. It's still there. I mean, it's still relevant. Okay, Madara, you want to add something or share? Go on.
A bit on top of that, if company doesn't apply AI, that they are doomed. But I think we have quite a lot still companies that are still going through the digital transformation itself, where they are trying to come up with better infrastructure and so forth. So if they don't have the basics fixed, it doesn't matter how good the AI solutions on top they will build if they don't have processes defined, if they have not done the preparation. So I mean, it's not that I think critical to jump on AI if you don't have the preconditions. And I understand that in long term, of course, those companies might end up being done, but you can't skip some parts during that journey, I think.
That's a good point. So it should be gradual. So I totally agree with you. And that is something that I also wanted to discuss, how to approach the education itself, how we cannot jump without basic knowledge to the top level knowledge. Definitely, it doesn't happen in that way. So it doesn't work. Simple pedagogical, I don't know, rules, let's put it so, and practice. So it means we need an extra year. That's the only thing. We cannot cut something out, so we need an extra year. So, okay.
But you have it, because formally, I think in higher education, the COVID added 30% of efficiency.
Yes,
and AI adds another 30% of efficiency, how you transfer knowledge. So it's already quite substantial increase in knowledge.
So you're talking about so-called massive online courses and things of that sort?
No, I think that's history. But basically, in terms of this very, very broad way how you teach. Yes, your massive online courses are just the new books. That's as simple as I look at them. But you have all the other tools and assistants which helps people to learn more efficiently. 2 times 30% is nearly 70% total increase.
Okay.
So
okay. Yeah. Yeah, Maxims, go on.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add that thanks to the merit program, me and I believe that most of my fellow students are now capable to explain to the both sides of the company, to the management why we need to use AI, and to the other part of the company of regular workers how it could benefit them also. So we are in a position so we can explain to the both sides why using the AI is efficient, better, and is needed.
Definitely, you are messengers. Definitely, so you should keep that role and bravely push forward everything digital. So that, I totally agree with you. Okay, then let's move on with one another question that I have, and then we have an open discussion session. So let's have another 15 minutes, not more than that, for another question, and that is probably of my very much personal interest. So what should we do in Merit to make it happen? So I mean, to make it as good as we want it. So we heard some. We have a nice drawing, speaking like a Trump, a nice drawing, so, which is technical skills that we need to provide. Then there is legal consequences that we also need to provide, and not always, at least me personally, not always I understand them completely. So that is, I recognize that gap in my knowledge as well. And then we need how to say appropriate communication skills to to argument and to convince people to go that path, which is relevant but not easy to take. So, and what would be those particular action points that we could take as next steps of training courses or study programs development? What, on your opinions, having the program already, for you probably done, what would be those action points you would want to suggest to us, and how to proceed? Mother, you were the first.
Yeah, just the first thing that came on my mind was something that already Andres mentioned, how to bridge this gap between theoretical knowledge and the daily work that we do or the company needs to do. And to put it simple, it could be how to evaluate different tools, as already also Nora mentioned. Every day the landscape changes, new tools get introduced daily, and how to properly evaluate and understand for which ones to go, because if we want to bring them into the company, we need to do the trainings and so forth, and which ones will stay as long, so after the learning curve ends, it's still relevant. So maybe something from that point of view.
Okay, thanks. Nora, since you were mentioned so by Mother, so go on, please.
Yes, I would suggest actually consider for Merit project or program to also extend it not only in this master's level, which is a 2-year program, but create an education program that can be offered to industry, be it like a 1, 2, or maybe 3-month course, which is specific maybe on AI, and that organizations can sign up for and offer to their employees. What's the benefit is, first, it's created. I mean, I think the content is great, and it will help those organizations that might not have in-house experts who can create the content, but they could sign up. Myself, I've studied like this at the Swedish School of Economics. Executive education on change management and then similar sort of like courses, and it's really very helpful for those who work in industry to supplement their gaps, be it in AI or any other particular curriculum.
Are you talking about lifelong learning courses like on edX, Coursera, Udemy, and all others? So something of that sort, right?
Yes and no. I would actually suggest it to be in person with an instructor. Okay. Because I don't believe these. I mean, the world is full of Udemy type of courses, but I think what you gain from being present with an instructor once per week is way more effective. I think the presence really proves itself.
Okay, let me test one question with you. So since you are, currently discussing, so we were discussing one particular thing, just to switch a little bit the game. So it means we could provide, and that is about efficiency. I mean, of acquiring knowledge and skills. So we let's how to say discuss a hypothetical hypothetical. I got lost. Yeah, hypothetical situation where we have a massive online course which provides a theoretical part of the course. So, which is being acquired by you on your own pace before starting the course in person. And then having the course in person, whether they're synchronized, time synchronized or not, you are having how to say in-depth hands-on experience. So we're going through heavy case studies, for instance. We're going through application scenarios, which is based on your theoretical knowledge acquired and so on. So basically the in-person experience is not about providing theoretical knowledge, but about testing it on particular cases. So would it fly for you?
Yeah, that would fly for me for sure. I think this sounds like this MIT X and Harvard X courses, right? It's a full-on course where it's not just like a quick quiz with 10 questions where you can just like do it without really learning. But when it's like a proper test, then it might fly. But for me personally, I think I learn much more when I dedicate my time being away from computers, being away from work. But that's myself personally. I think in our merit student group, this varies very much.
Okay, thanks for sharing it. Okay, Andres, please.
Yeah, maybe continuing on what Nora already started and you developed it further. I think also Egidius confirmed that there should be something more like as a continuous process, starting from building these technical basics for the executive management of the company, and showing them and helping them understanding what AI is and what's not, and so forth, and then going into the more specific industry related use cases. So I liked very much how we learned ourselves innovation, and also, by the way, the AI course as well, when we worked in groups on specific projects, and it actually helped us to immerse into this experience and to learn based on our own scenarios, how can we implement it into our companies. And I think that is exactly what would be very helpful for many executives and companies in general. So that's not just a standard course of Copilot or Cloud or whatever. These are standard prompts. Of course, it's helpful, but it's on this personal productivity level. But I think what would be really beneficial if you as a university could establish a program where the companies can then send their employees and they go through this process on let's say continuous manner, and then they finish with something what they have implemented in their company, right, based on this kind of, let's say, framework or approach.
Okay, so what you're suggesting is to do some due diligence before the course starts, to gather those possible scenarios or problematic cases, and that's how we proceed with in our practical part in our courses, and trying to address that as far as it's compliant with the course matters, right? So that is the suggestion. Okay.
Yeah.
So it might be very challenging for us. I mean,
look at it like we have this innovation lab course, right? And something similar can be maybe done here in AI context, starting from framing it and understanding, the overall approach, and then nailing it down through some structured methodology. What me as a, I don't know, mid or high level manager can do for my company, and then basically guiding it through the process with hands-on until we have very tangible scenario to be implemented or even already implemented in the company. I think I imagine it somehow that way.
Okay, thanks. Any other suggestions, Janis? Probably you have your vision how it should work. I mean,
No, I think from my perspective, definitely AI is the learning tool as such.
yeah, I agree.
And I think the fact that we have provided that, I think, in every single subject matter course, the challenge is, and the task, not the challenge, but the task is to train people to efficiently use AI for that course. And efficiently use, that includes all the addressing the hallucinations, addressing the capabilities, and so on and so forth. And I think that's where it comes. There are a lot of tricks of the trade how to maneuver the AI engines to get what you exactly want and to cross-verify and avoid these things. So I think that's a piece where I agree. I think with Nora or with Mother, who said that's a piece where the in-person learning actually should take place.
I agree.
And I am not favorite of those blocks, so I think it has to be interchangeable. So we have to take from the best from the mass online open courses of these, 15, 20-minute increments of information as opposed to, a couple hours of lectures. But that needs to then be, augmented by in-person discussions and seminars where actually people can discuss their journey through an AI world on that specific topic matter. Because I think the easy piece is if all the people, I think we can do that experiment, if we do the first prompts to the AI, all of us on the simple subject matter will more or less get the same results. But then as we get deeper and deeper and we branch out, we will all get different results.
Oh, definitely.
And then I think that's where the real learning comes, and that's where the real learning from each other comes. How do we got to the results, what AI provided it, so that we recognize where did it hallucinate and where did we learn and where did it provide some valuable information. And I think that is then the skill of a modern instructor.
So that was, by the way, referred to one presentation to our teacher. So that was one of the conclusions, that basically the role of the teacher is also shifting. So towards, it was called learning architect.
Yes.
Or teaching architect. So that was, I think, the term. So it means, so we're also transiting from being academicians to being architects. So that's nice. Sounds nice. So and basically it also some resonates what we were discussing about the tip of the pyramid. So the basement basically gets wider. So that is the thing. Okay, good. So we have reached the last 30 minutes of our discussion. So, and I would love to open the mic for everybody else. So it means there are lots of people which are not from the from the discussion group, if I may say so. So, including the discussion group, everybody else now can raise the questions or provide some comments of what was discussed here, and yes, see where it leads us. So okay, mic is open. So okay, Egidius again. So Egidius, you are our hero today. Go on.
So I have a fun question, if you will allow me. So, who has the best personal AI use case? When you tried a lot of stuff, what worked personally for you the best? either in work or in daily life?
Oh, I can share it the first if I may. So definitely the Codex. So I use Codex a lot. I use GitHub Copilot. It also works nicely. I use N8N, so which is for software automation. So it works like a charm. So I like it very much for even more complex tasks. And I use Hagen, which is for presentation generation and avatar talking my texts. So that works perfectly. That is my tool set at the moment. So I'm using daily. Okay, anybody else who is brave to to disclose and to confess? Yeah, go on, please, Yuris.
My daily usage, answering to the GTO's question, it's Perplexity Pro. I'm using it every day. So as a co-pilot, for some easy tasks, to collect some information, because we are working in a sales. So we are selling products worldwide. So and it's somehow, as I already mentioned, so we are pushing our sales force to use AI. We are educate with AI. So yeah, so Copilot and Perplexity. So and also number one here for the new members of the prox. So Anthropic Cloud is number one right now.
Yeah, thanks. Anybody else?
I am. I never use one. For any task I do, I use two at least.
Okay, yeah.
And then there is quite a broad combination of. I think all the main ones, probably except for Grok, I don't use it regularly. But all the main ones I use, and really I think and then kind of, or I use two initially and then ask the third one for review or something like that. But these are part of some of the tricks of the trade to quickly catch some of its mistakes, especially in the area which I do, which is kind of
mission critical.
Not mission critical, but opinion critical.
Yeah.
And then trying to be specific, so because it's very clear that if you keep using one and it gets into the circles and hallucinates quite a lot, so that you switch it and force it to rethink what it does.
Okay, that is a good experience. So, Andres, please.
Yeah, I liked what Yanis just answers, because it potentially can lead us to another discussion of whether we really save time by using AI, right? If you need to work with 4 different tools and then cross-check and everything, so I don't know. But seriously speaking, my own experience is that, of course, there are different tools in the company. We have very strictly regulated what we are allowed or not allowed to use. But in terms of scenarios, I recently found myself switching from this just personal productivity things like, I don't know, for example, I was really using a lot tools for research purposes, whether it's like, I don't know, market research, whether it's some academic research or anything. This is really helpful to gather very quickly information, to draw some maybe correlations and things like that. That is very helpful on the personal productivity level. But lately, what we started to experiment within my team is that mainly moving to this agent. So we identified that there are some tasks what requires for us a lot of repeated activities, and especially, I don't know, you have different Excel sheets and you need to kind of put this together and then, to do something with that. And this is a type of things what we are now experimenting. Still needs a lot of improvement, but I like what I see. It really helps streamline some, at least parts of the process what we have, if not entire process, because of some limitations, access to data and stuff like that. But
Okay,
these
thanks.
are my experience. Mm-hmm.
Hey, anybody else brave to share?
I can
More,
share
please.
a couple use cases that I have implemented in my teams with use of AI. One of them was in team management, just tailored chatbot with on project onboarding, which was trained and given context of the project, of employee handbook and ways of working, so that, for example, team lead or scrum master wouldn't have to repeatedly answer questions on basic things that are being kept asked by 30 people. So this was one worked really well, I think was well appreciated by the team. And then we also, in the previous organization, were in some groups working on improving the internal process of finding people for projects, namely using a Copilot agent studio, which was trained also in internally available documents to find the right profiles. Let's say, hey, I need an expert Java developer who has worked in healthcare industry, and then you could provide this prompt, and it would then find the available people, for example, such a use case. But these are specific to team management, and the biggest issue always, of course, is first to get it working right and correctly. Testing was tedious. However, they helped a lot because it saved a lot of managers' time rather than responding to Teams messages or emails. This was one of the use cases.
Okay, thanks. Hey, anybody
Nora,
else?
I wanted a
Yeah.
follow-up question for Nora. Did you use a custom made or did you build yourself?
No, I mean, we used
Sorry, the bot.
we used the Microsoft Copilot Studio. So there, I mean, all of these are, you don't have to do much coding there. It's more configuring and providing the context. The context is what matters. The more precise we were, where should it look, what information it should check, how to format, where to cross-check, what not to hallucinate. All of these, building the context was quite. It started out like with 5 lines, ended up being like quite a long document, but I believe this is essentially for all agents. This is a critical piece, this context, called variously in different tools, of course.
And did it work also from the coworker perspective? I understand from managerial side that it eased up, but from coworkers, did they also find it?
Yeah. Specifically, yeah, because it would be used by various team members, right? And it's but this was very specific because the Copilot was the tool that is readily available for everyone. This comes back to the topic of licenses, etc. So this was not a blocker, right? If you already, hey, we have a tool, but you need to gain access to it, then you already people just lose motivation if it's like they need to take this extra step. It's confusing, but if it's there available and there's training being done and shown how it's used, you can show the benefits of it. I think then these small efficiency gains is what I have seen the most.
That's a good point of an extra step. May I rephrase the Egidius question into an opposite one? Does anyone, and what exactly? So probably you don't want to disclose everything, but is there a case you regret using AI?
It's probably all of those. I just wanted to say it's probably all of those systems that never went live, right? All of those.
That's Madara.
We had just a funny case last week where we had a home exam in one of the subjects where it was forbidden to use AI at all. And just for fun, we wanted to check our exams in tools to see what they would put up, what was the number. And when you know that you have written by hand your work and you submit in some of the tools and they spit out that it's 80% AI generated. So gave a little heart shake for some of us.
Yeah. In our case, I need to emphasize that we are indeed having a genius tool, which is catching plagiarism and AI use cases. So definitely. Okay, guys, so we're approaching our finish today, so we're still having some 15 minutes. So if anyone, because I have run out of my questions, so basically I'm happy with the discussion. I don't know, Yanis, whether you are, but and anybody else. So, but still, those 15 minutes we can use for, as I said, like an open microphone. If there is anything we can discuss or share our experiences, so please go on, use this time. And Marit is the first one. Marit, please.
I wanted to ask you two, what was the hardest part of putting together this program?
Oh, very honestly, the hardest part, which is still there, is to find teachers. So that is the hardest part. And it's not about just allocating time of a given teacher or paying the wage. That is not a challenge. The main challenge is the skill set of the teacher himself or herself. So which corresponds to the outcomes, learning outcomes that we are expecting to deliver. That is the hardest problem, honestly. So it means I'm not saying that teachers are good or bad. I'm saying that the skill set which is currently required for the teacher and his own or her own knowledge and experience, because of the widening the base of the pyramid, unfortunately we face it in a very hard way. So we do not have enough teachers at that level. So that is a very hard truth.
I think based back on the data I mentioned before. So imagine if you have been told that overnight you have to, or not overnight, but think about your own careers. Have you become 70% more efficient over the last 3 to 4 years? And I think that's an issue with the faculties. That's really the modern academia is doing that the way instructors have to organize their work is 70% more efficient than 5 years ago, and that's a very, very considerable amount of increase in speed. And I think that presents a challenge to any instructional efforts currently worldwide.
Yeah, that is indeed, it's hard lessons we learned during constructing the program and the contents. Somewhere there are places we needed to reduce a little bit or simplify a little bit. That's true, unfortunately. We wanted some of the topics being a little bit deeper. However, we were lucky also to attract, for instance, for probabilistic reasoning, I think we have very, very good content. So probably the communication is pretty hard there because the topic is hard and some other. But yeah, indeed, there are some good examples and probably not that good. But that is the main challenge. And I need to admit that is not just for RTU or Riga Business School. So it's all over the place. So for other universities, that is the same challenge. And that's why we're currently opening tenure track professorship, positions, and then for associates. So basically, that's how we are trying to deal with it. So that is the hard reality. So we're a small country. So that is the thing. So we're not bad people. We're a small country. So that is the thing. Yeah. Okay. So anything else? Do we have anything else? So any announcements, propositions, questions? No, we're still having a little time. So
why should anybody fight for you guys to hire or headhunt you for another corporate job in AI?
Marit is on our screen, so Marit, you should start.
Right, that's fair. Well, right now I would say that after combining full-time master studies and full-time job. The ability to learn things and to work and study under pressure has grown. So I think that is a good point for that.
Okay.
So now in your work, you will be at least twice more efficient.
That's the dream.
We'll tell that to your
Not
boss.
mine, but of the employer. Yeah, but generally it does show something, and I just generally also learned from the experience that it's not also the level of the obtaining knowledge, but also just general, how to say that, like the emotional management to combining everything together and sort of not going, well, not crazy, but not feeling overwhelmed all the time. And that is a good skill, and I think it's picking up in importance now with the AI, and everything has to be done quicker, more efficient. The question is also then, where do we stop? Because if we live in constant need to do things faster and better, it is also draining. I understand that from a business perspective, from the growth perspective, but for a human being, it can be really draining. And I think we will also have discussions about the satisfaction of the job and general feeling of some stability as an employee. I have a feeling that it's fading a bit because I'm always thinking that things are not good enough. Not because I'm very critical, but because it feels like that, because we're always told that you can do faster and better, and it gets a bit difficult. So I think it will also create some discussions related to job satisfaction on an individual level.
Oh, that's very deep, actually.
Mhm.
That's a very deep. Thanks for sharing it. It's deep. Nora, please.
If you talk about the merit students, then I can tell you that it's not only the theoretical learning and maybe the study course homeworks and also doing it all in our own organizations, but on top of that, what we have gained and why our skills and experience matter is because we have also been networking with 45 plus others in various other organizations. We rarely actually have any overlapping between these organizations. We have shared how do we tackle these AI challenges in our own professional lives. I think this also has given us a lot. And I think there's quite a few of us who would echo the sentiment that the networking part of learning is also very important. And I think what brings it even more acute, this skill.
I agree. That is something that we try to build for you guys through different activities, including mobility as well. So when you are, how to say, ripped out of the context and yeah, probably dropped in some other context. So that was our intention. And basically, me and Jānis, we were in favor of that kind of mobility from very beginning. So that's why you have it. Okay, thanks. Anybody else wants to share? Okay, so you don't know. Okay, so I'm not going into that.
Oh no, I think as a conclusion, what I heard, thank you guys for taking on this journey. And my feel is, that what I just heard, that the program has been pretty tough. So, my old philosophy of programs had been there couldn't be, programs can be always tougher, and then the tough programs are good. So I hope you enjoyed it. I wish you all the best and use your knowledge. But I think what I also heard underneath, and I probably could attest to that, as AI forces us to be in continuous learning. So probably one of the first agentic AI tools you have and we have to develop is our own learning tool for us.
Yeah.
Which helps us to learn, and I wish you all the good luck.
Okay, thanks, Jānis. Yeah, from my side as well, I really enjoyed this discussion today. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for sharing your personal experience, and especially thanks for good things, and even more for probably suggestions how to improve. So that's definitely something that we will take with us. And yeah, let's meet on some other occasions, and definitely during your defense. Okay, anyway, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks Larissa for organizing. Thanks for our technical team and support for being in a nice place here and having a good chat with you. So, yeah, see you on other occasions. So, bye.
See you. Bye.